Here we're going to look at updating a menu. On the example site, we've got one menu in the top right hand corner that you can see here, which says Home, About, Services, Blog and Contact, which is fairly typical of a website. Now, to get to these, what you need to do is jump to the admin area and then go Appearance and Menus. This will give you a way of editing the menu. Now, some websites only have one like this example, whereas others may have additional menus. So for example, you may have some in the footer, or you may have multiple menus in the header section. If we jump to the Simpsons site for a second and go Appearance and Menus, you can see that we have several menus, and to get between the different menus you've got a drop down here where you can select the menu. So if we select Main Menu and then press Select, it will then update the section underneath, so we're now editing the main menu. So again, if I want to edit the blog menu, select it on the drop down and press Select, and it'll take us to the blog menu here. This is important to make sure you're in the right one, and if you're not seeing what you're expecting here, it's probably because you need to change the menu options here. If we jump back to the test site here, keep it nice and simple with one menu, you can see Home, About, Services, Blog and Contact as we have on the live site. Let's just open that in a new tab quickly, and you can see them replicated here. Now, to change something, what you need to do is add a new page or edit or remove an existing one. So let's select the blocks page and then press Add to Menu. You can see we've now got a new entry here for blocks. If I press Save Menu, it says the menu has been updated. Switch back to the front view and let's refresh. You can see there's our new menu item. So the changes that you make to the menu are reflected in real time. Go back to the option here, and let's say I wanted to change the order. So if I click and drag and move blocks to the top there, and then press Save Menu, switch back to the front end and let's do refresh, you can see blocks is now at the beginning of the menu here. You can do other things with it. So for example, if you need drop downs, you can drag and drop it and indent it, and you can see blocks is now a drop down of Home. Depending on your website, you can go several layers deep with this. So for example, About is now a drop down of blocks. This really does depend on the design of the site, however. So if you try this and it doesn't visually look right on the front end, we can update the website theme to account for it. Or alternatively move the blocks back to where you need them to be. We've got this block here. If we wanted to remove it, you can press this little option here to expand it, and then you can click on Remove, and that takes the block out, and you can press Save Menu and that'll update it accordingly. Sometimes you won't have the page here. Under Most Recent, you might have to click on View All, which will show you all the pages, or you might even have to click Search. Sometimes, however, it's tricky to find, or for whatever reason you can't find it. So if we open a new tab and let's click on Contact to give us a different link, I'm going to highlight the URL at the top, right hand click and copy, switch back to the menu option, and I'm going to insert a custom link. I can do this by expanding it. I can paste the link in there, and then I need to type the text that appears. So if we put test in there for now, and now press Add to Menu, you can see we've got the new one with test as the link text, and it's a custom link. If I expand this one, you can see there's the URL which we'd pasted in previously. So if you wanted to update that, you can do that here. You can also change the navigation link here. So if I do that and then click off and collapse it, you can see there's a new item, test link, which is a custom link. If you have a page one, so let's insert a page. Let's do Services, Add, and you can see there's a new one with page on the right hand side. Let's expand that. You don't have the URL option because it's a page one, so it's tied to the URL of that page. But what you can do is change the navigation label. So if I put Services Link in place and then click off and collapse it. This is a handy option if your page title is quite long. So for example, Our Services We Offer is quite a long page title. You may just want that to be Services, and by default it uses the page title. So you could have that, expand it and just delete everything else just to make it services. The moment you do that, however, the link is no longer connected to the page. So if you change the page title, the link won't change automatically. You'll have to come and adjust it in the menu here as well. So if I just save menu and we'll switch back to front view and refresh, you can see there's our updated menu in place. And again, we don't want those ones in there, so let's take services and then click remove, and test link and click remove, and then save menu to update it. The way that the menus work is on the front end of the website. If we hit refresh to see the new one, you can see there's a space there for the menu, and in the theme we've called it something, and it's connected to this menu here, and that's done with the menu settings at the bottom. And this one, the display location, is called the main menu. So if this becomes unticked, it won't appear on the front end of the website anymore, and that just needs ticking again and save menu selecting. On the example site, we have the menu at the top there, but we also have it repeated in the footer here. On some websites, it uses the same menu in the same way that this one does. There's one menu and it's duplicated in both places. However, sometimes we'll have a separate menu. If the website's quite large, we might have a simplified menu, in which case you'll have the drop down because there'll be two different menus and there'll be two different display locations at the bottom. But typically, once these are set up, it's okay to leave them as is and just tweak the content of the menu as above.